Hello everybody. I think the title of this video will be The Value of Hot Workouts. And obviously, well, maybe not obviously to you, but obviously to me, I just got in a workout. And so I had an experience in early February. I caught a cold and I was going to cycle right through it, which I did do. I worked out every day, but I got on my bike and I'd had a cold and it had worsened throughout the day. And the weather was cold outside too, and the air was cold and dry. But I had just this habit is whenever I cycled indoors, I was going to have this fan on, and so I turned it on as usual, and I got on the bike, and it was cold, and this fan was blowing right at me, and my skin was dry because the air was really dry, and this cold, dry air was blowing on me while I was working out, and it just was miserable, honestly. And I realized that that was just unnecessary. So I like the idea, of having like the fresh air, and it kind of blows your breath away, like the carbon dioxide. You're not cycling in a cloud of your own CO2. But still, I decided that after that, I was going to just not have the fan on and just cycle. And, you just breathe your air, but it's not a big deal. And it was so much nicer. And so I thought, wow, why don't I've really kind of discovered something. I'll just keep doing this from now on as much as I can. So I guess what it's turned into now, it's already May, so it's been maybe around or almost what is it? So February, March, April, May, 3 months or about a quarter of a year or so since I had that beginning experience, and now I'm starting to really still do it. Like now the weather's warmer and I haven't had the air conditioning on here much at all ever. I had it on once, I think, maybe, but briefly. But so in the past, when I would do like a workout, I would turn on the air conditioning and have like a fan blowing, and so be nice and fresh and cool while I was really cycling. But now I'm not doing that. I'm kind of trying to minimize my use of air conditioning when I work out and even fan blowing. So that's really kind of nice. Like I sweat a lot, and I think it's really good heat training for heat acclimatization. Like, we've got summer coming up on the way. We're already well into spring. So maybe we're probably about halfway between the beginning of spring and the beginning of summer. And we'll be 2 months into spring before very long. So I find that this is going to prepare me for the heat that's coming, because exercising in hot weather is a great way to get yourself used to the heat that you just have to live with in normal conditions. That is to say, when you're not exercising, you still have, the heat to deal with. But if you've been exercising in the heat, it pushes you beyond normal heat adaptation. It does it really quickly. It's like it forces heat adaptation. And I used to run outdoors in all kinds of weather, and I ran in the heat. In fact, one time I ran a long run. It was 104 degrees Fahrenheit, and I believe I ran, I think, 9.5 miles in that heat nonstop. But, I've had times where you've got to be careful to drink enough water, and it can get overwhelming, like just on rare occasions, when I wasn't quite heat trained or pushing it, or I was pushing it and all that. Like when I finished my run, I would like feel dizzy or overwhelmed, and you're just in a hurry to get inside and drink some water and lie down or something. And I had one time when I was like, oh, okay, so I ran this like running event. It was exactly 3 miles, and I ran it really fast in the heat, and it was spring. It wasn't quite summer yet, I don't think. And the heat was just immense for that time of the year, because it's not like a straight line of like gradually increasing heat. You have like really warm days and cooler days, peaks and valleys, and that sort of thing, if you were to graph it, on your way to the hotter weather in the summer. And it was one of those hot days, and I hadn't been, I guess, quite used to it, but I really pushed it, and I was running, and I ran a great time. But when I went over the finish line, I just came to a stop and I just vomited, just because that stopping in having to run so hard, so fast in the heat, and then you stop running, it's like just totally vomited. So stuff can happen, but be careful if you're going to do that. But I think it's really beneficial. I'm not saying that's the only way to go. You can have it cool and really push it and create your own kind of intensity. You might not get the same intensity in your workouts if you're really training hot, but long and hot, it's a totally different ball game, totally different thing. But I would say it's something you might want to try. It's very relaxing, and it's really good to really sweat a lot. And then, of course, you'll be drinking a lot of water to compensate for that. And it just really flushes your body. So I will leave you all with that. It's already almost 6 minutes into the workout. I got a good one in. And enjoy yourselves. Have a great time. Thank you so much for watching the video.